Hey there, welcome back to another episode of the Sacred Voices of Sedona. I'm here with my co-host, Susie Beiler.
Hello, everyone.
And again, for those of you who may have forgotten, my name is Magen Martinez, also known as the Divine Miss M.
No one has forgotten.
I don't know, maybe. So today, we want to talk to you about something a little bit more positive and talking about how we can create the lives that we want by changing the way that we see the world. So we have a deep understanding that our perspective really dictates the reality and how we're experiencing the world. And it's really easy to lose sight of that. So we just want to talk about a little bit about that today.
Yeah, because we understand that there is a lot of crap happening and that there is a lot of chaos all around, and it can be very easy to become enmeshed in that, and it can be very too easy to engage with that energy. But I believe now is the time where we're being called to stay in our heart center and really focus on what we want in this world and really focus on what we're creating, because we have that power.
Absolutely. And for me, as a psychic, I receive this question quite a bit. Like, when are things going to get better? What is my purpose for being here? What am I doing? Like,
when you make them better.
Yeah, and that's funny because that is the answer from Spirit all the time. Like, oh, when am I going to have all the money that I want? Well, whenever you want to. When am I going to have the life that I want? Whenever you choose it. When am I going to be happy? When you choose it.
Yeah. And that can be hard when you're feeling in a place of unempowerment. I know I've definitely been there.
Yeah.
And there are simple shifts that you can do internally to start to turn that around and have a brighter outlook.
Yeah. I mean, we're humans and we're having a human experience. And right now there's a lot of extra energy that's amplifying these shadows within us. So it's a little bit more difficult to stay on the positive side and remember that there is a perfectness and a purpose to what we're experiencing right now. So it's nice to just have a little reminder that we are in charge and we can be empowered. We don't have to give our power away to create the life that we want because we are creators.
Yeah. Can I share a story that just happened?
Yes, please do.
Illustrate this concept. So I talk about how I've been through 5 months of hell and how I got myself out of that. And even though crap is still happening in my life, I have a different perspective of it now and a different energy with it. And so I've really been digging in deep and practicing my gratitude and practicing, energy management. What energy am I embodying and how am I flowing energy and all those things? And today I got an email saying that my 25 books that were slightly damaged are going to be replaced for free. So now I have a new inventory that I can claim 100% profit, thank you, on those books, which is really cool because, to shell out $300 that's a significant amount of money. So it's really nice to okay, this is an affirmation of all the inner things I've been doing to manage my energy and stay in gratitude and know that I'm well supported. And then this email comes in. I'm like, awesome. Okay.
All right.
What else you got, universe? How does it get any better than this?
Yes, absolutely. I like to talk a little bit about my past work experience and how, to me, it's just evidence that we don't need permission to be successful. So before I was a psychic.
Well, we do. From ourselves.
From ourselves, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
From any external sources. So before I was a psychic, I was a hairdresser. And I worked in the Bay Area. And I began my career right around the time that a massive recession hit the whole country. And so while other people were losing a lot, I struck out on my own as a hairdresser. And within 3 days of opening my own spot, I had tripled my income. And I continued to grow my income and increase my income through an entire recession period. So it didn't affect me because mentally I didn't allow it to affect me. And nobody gave me permission to make money. Nobody gave me permission to start my own business. In fact, most of my life has been met with a lot of people telling me to aim lower or not try as hard or tell me I wasn't college material. Or these sorts of lies that kind of sink into our psyche and start to dictate our reality to us. So I did this against what people told me I could do because I simply believed that I could, and I knew that I wanted a better life. I wanted to not be living check to check. I wanted financial freedom, and I created it for myself because I'm a creator, and that's what we all are. We're here to create the reality that we want.
Yes.
And so now I've created a beautiful life for myself in a beautiful place where I get to spend most of my days socializing with amazing people, spending time out on the land, hiking, eating great food.
Helping your clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get to do something that I'm really passionate about, that I feel helps people, and that really feeds my soul. So I created that reality. So we are not slaves. We are not prisoners. This is not a prison planet unless that's how you are choosing to experience it.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. No, this is huge. I think we need to really flesh this out a little bit because that is, even from the light workers, that is a message that we're getting. You know, we're on this prison planet. We're on this planet that is enslaving us and, you know, locking us up in the matrix and keeping us down. And I mean, if we take in that message and we internalize that, we start to feel like victims of that. But that's not actually the truth.
Nope.
And your freedom actually, I believe, is in your mind and what you choose to do with this tool up here.
Exactly. And that's, I mean, and we were talking about calling this episode a cosmic joke because enlightenment in some ways is a cosmic joke because you realize once you get there, once you seek, whether it's through the multiverse or through the universe or through just this planet, you can look all over and you'll find out that the answer was in your pocket the whole time. Because
I don't have pockets today. Dang it!
And if you truly get it, you'll laugh at this and not be frustrated because it's a cosmic joke. You know, we sit in our cages, shaking our fists at the sky, demanding a key, demanding someone come and save us from the life that we've been trapped into.
Hoping the ETs will land and take us in their ships.
Which is just another version of the savior complex. So, but no one thinks to, or very few brave souls, I would say, think to turn the handle and realize, hey, I haven't been locked in here at all.
Yeah.
I could have walked out the entire time. So we can create the reality we want. We can experience the world in the way that we want. We know that this is a co-creation, and so stuff's going to happen to you. Life's going to happen.
Right.
But we're in charge of how we react to it.
Yeah.
We're in charge of everything. If you don't like your job, change it. If you don't like where you're living, move. Nobody is forcing you to stay there. Nobody's forcing you to stay in a bad relationship. It's only our mind and our belief that's trapping us in that reality.
Right, right. And that's massive because that does take time to master all of that. And it can be a challenge to master all of that, but it is totally possible. And that's, I think, the big message we want to bring today is it's possible. It's possible for you to step out of your victimhood and into empowerment. And regardless of your external situation, it's not always an external thing to be empowered. It's an internal thing, and then that will be eventually reflected in your external environment. But I think a lot of people, they just want to get into a better space or something more comfortable or something that feels better. Maybe I'm just talking about myself, but but that's not how it works. It starts on the inside first. It's an inside job.
Absolutely. Happiness is not something that's outside of us. Happiness is something that we choose every day and every moment.
Yeah.
And so I learned this lesson the hard way when I ended up in a very bad financial situation and I went into survival mode. So it was really just, I went from not worrying about money at all to to just focusing on making it through the day. And because of that, I was really right in the eternal now moment. I wasn't thinking of the future. I wasn't thinking of the past.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about surviving. And I also had a great time during this process. Now, was every day amazing? Absolutely not. I wouldn't still be here if I understood the lessons completely. I'm choosing to have a human experience. And so I'm still here and I'm still running through these things. And I still, I'm walking that spiral path of enlightenment. And so I revisit things over and over until I really, really, truly can release and surrender myself to the divine flow. And so I had that experience in order to really learn that happiness was a choice. And even when I was in really dire financial situations, I still had a smile on my face and figured out ways to find joy and appreciate what I did have.
I think that's really important. And you said another word I want to highlight, which is surrender. When we can surrender to what is, then that joy can come and that happiness can come. And look, I am like in the middle of practicing this. I don't claim to be a master at this by any means, but that is something that's deeply transformational, is to be able to surrender to what's ever happening and allow yourself to have fun in the midst of it. It's very easy for the nervous system to get overwhelmed. I get that. It's very easy to, start to spiral down into the despair. I get that. But like you were saying, we have a choice about how we handle what's happening. And when we choose to surrender and trust, and that's another huge one, that trust. But when we choose that as a way of being, then the stuff that we want can come to us, because all the anger, the frustration, all the upset, the being in survival mode, it is like a block for receiving. It is an energetic frequency that we're putting out that it's like, how can the stuff even get through that to us,
Yeah.
So that's really important.
I've learned through my experiences here that the way the universe works, and that what we're putting out is what it's returning to us. And so that can be a little bit difficult, but we are technically ordering up everything. And so we have to learn how to move away from saying, I never want to do that again, or I never want to experience that again, or
guilty,
or I never have this, or I never have that, because the universe hears that and they say, yeah, you're right, you never do. And that's what you're creating for yourself. So I think that is really, it's funny. I want to talk a little bit about this, the whole creating for yourself thing, because I've been having this kind of message drilled into me by spirit, and we've had this movement going on in the conscious community about the acceptance and the knowing that I am a creator being, right? Or I am an aspect of God all within myself. Yeah. But why is it that they want us to understand that so deeply? Why is it that they're driving it home? Is it to inflate our egos and to make us feel powerful? Absolutely not. The reason that they're driving that point home is because we are creating all of this. And so they want us to understand just how powerful we are. Yeah. And so that there's this common question, I think, that a lot of people who are spiritually minded or spiritually seeking will ask themselves, and that's, how could God, if that's how you want to call the higher power creator, how could God allow for people to suffer? Yeah. How could there be so much suffering on this planet?
Did I get the punchline? Yeah. No, because we are allowing that. It's not up to some God out there. Yeah. We're the ones responsible for what's happening on the planet. Yeah. And we're the ones responsible for creating the shift. And this comes, I'll just affirm what you're saying, this comes through my Prime Creator channelings over and over again. Prime Creator is always inviting us into stepping into our power, into remembering who we are as creator beings, because that's why we came to this planet. We came here to create the shift. We came here to clean up all this mess that's here. That's why we're here.
Absolutely.
So we have to remember that and start exercising that. And oh man, if I could just really activate you guys into remembering how powerful you are, and go deeper into that remembering of how powerful you are, and practice that in your lives. because you're so powerful. Your thoughts, your emotions, the energies you're emanating, all of this is part of you being a creator. And if you aren't managing that, like if you're like your thought life is going crazy, for example, that really takes away from your power. That's a power leak. And so we have to like really dial it in and take responsibility for the energy we're putting out, our thoughts, our emotions, all of it.
Well, and also speaking of going inward and realizing this is really all we can control or can change, it's really important. And this applies to our 3D life as well, because this is another thing that I see. And yes, it sucks that people are making poisonous food and poisonous medicines, and they're polluting the environment. That definitely sucks, and we should work to shift that. But the only way we can do that is by changing our own personal behavior. So there's no one that says that you have to use Dawn dish soap. There's no one that says you have to wash your laundry with Tide. There's no one that says that you need to eat GMO foods or that you can only eat fast food.
Yeah, like no one's forcing that.
No one is forcing it. We live, especially in the United States, we live in a free country. We live in a free market, and you're allowed to buy and do pretty much whatever you want. Like as far as consumption goes of products, household products, and I mean, there's mild regulations on it, but there are options out there. And what's great about a free market as well is that we get to dictate what is sold and what's available to us. So we get to vote every day with every dollar. Yeah. And so if you don't want to feel sick, stop putting the poison in you. If you don't want to get sick, stop eating bad food. No one's forcing you to eat that. And it's not about like tisk tisk, you're making bad choices. It's about, wouldn't you feel so much more empowered to take the reins into your own hands instead of waiting for someone else to save the world for you?
Yeah, for real. I'd rather, like, there's a situation in my life where I've sometimes fantasized about being rescued from it. And I'm like, but is that what I really want? No, I want to be a powerful creator and create that change for myself. I don't want to be rescued. I want to do it. And that's really where our power is, when we decide, I'm going to do this. Oh,
and that choice is so important, because then you remember that you actually chose to be here. We chose to be here in this reality. So I don't need someone to save me from myself. Yeah. I chose to experience this, and I can experience it in any way that I want to.
Add some extra power to that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I can choose to experience this in any way that I like. So what are some ways that we can shift it when we get into this negative tailspin? Because it happens to all of us. It happens to me. I have, we talked about this previously, where I'm in general like an overgiver. I like to give a lot. And when you're that kind of person, sometimes you end up with a lot of resentment because it's not always reciprocated. And so if I get feeling down, or I get to feeling a little bit resentful, how do I shift out of it? How do I shift out of feeling like a victim in that moment? I do little things. I have little things that I do. One of my biggest thing for shifting energy is laughter. That is the fastest way for me to shift out of a bad mood. Yeah. And so I know what things have a direct line to my funny bone. I love damn you autocorrect. That's really funny to me. I love the Thug Life videos. Those ones crack me up.
I don't think I've seen those.
So I'll usually check them out. You'll laugh really hard. So I love watching news bloopers, those kind of things. That makes me laugh, and all of a sudden my vibration is shifted. I'm not in that same downward spiral, and I can look at something with a different perspective and be like, okay, I don't need to feel that way. I'm choosing to feel that way. If I don't like this about my life, then I can change it. I can just stop with that practice or stop with that behavior, or I can vocalize to people what I would like or appreciate instead of having them read my mind.
Right. Well, that's important. And there's something you didn't say that I think comes even before that, and that's the self-awareness. Like, some people aren't even aware that they're feeling like a victim, or they're not even aware that they're going into a despair spiral. So that self-awareness, developing the knowing of yourself and the awareness about how you're feeling, what you're thinking, those are really important things, because if you don't know that you're doing something, you don't know you need to change it.
Yeah, or we put so much on other people and so little on ourselves. Like, this is something that happened just recently. So I've been in town here for 3 years, and there was this other person that lives here who I had encountered in multiple social situations, and I'll say he because it was a male. He snubbed me like multiple times, and I was thinking like, what's going on? Like, is this guy a jerk? Is he just really shy? Like, am I doing something wrong? But then I thought about it. After 3 years, I finally officially met this person, and he happens to be very nice and not shy or a mean person at all, and maybe a little bit shy, but not a mean person at all. And I thought, why didn't in all those times did I use my voice? Like, why didn't I say, hi, my name is Megan, in case he didn't see me? Instead, I was like,
I don't think we've officially met. Hi, my name is Megan.
So these are little examples of how we can kind of slip into that, like, I'm not being seen mode.
I'm not being, no one sees me. No one understands what I'm going through.
It happens. We're all guilty of it. So
I'm laughing at myself, you guys. Totally. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to be felt. And there are times where it's like, no one understands.
Sorry.
No, we're talking about laughter.
It's good to laugh at yourself too. Don't take yourself so freaking seriously.
We're transmuting. See, with this laughter, we're transmuting all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah.
If we want to change the way we approach it, we got to transmute it.
So what other things that I do to shift energy if I'm just not feeling it? I like to, well, I don't like to, but I clean. I like being in a clean environment. I don't like making it that way. And so, but if I'm in a funk, I will get up and I'll start cleaning because it shifts the energy around me and it gets me in motion. And also that I can receive while I'm in motion because it's kind of like a meditative state to be cleaning.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I like to go out into nature to shift things.
That's a good one, yeah.
And especially moving in nature, just like what you're saying, it's like a moving meditation that helps shift me out of my funk.
Yeah, that and also creating. I like to do creative things because it really brings out that essence of being a creator being. Yeah. So to me, there's nothing better than creating something and like laying my eyes upon my creation and knowing that it didn't exist until I brought it into existence. Yeah, that makes me feel really powerful. Yeah,
yeah, boom.
And so that's another way we can kind of shift out of a negative energy. And then
I got another one. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Okay. Look back over your life and look at everything you've accomplished. Like, acknowledge every creation that you've brought forth. Acknowledge every win that you've had. And this is something that I would really benefit from doing more often. Acknowledge, celebrate what you've created so far. Because sometimes it's like, oh, nothing's moving, everything's stagnant. It's like, those are the times you've been given to rest. So while you're resting, look back over what you've done and celebrate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. We should definitely celebrate ourselves. Yeah. I think there's a tendency to not celebrate yourself or to think that celebrating yourself is somehow narcissistic or selfish or ego thing, but it's not. We have to treat ourselves like we're pure love and creation the same way that we should treat other people that way. So breathe that in. It's okay to celebrate your victories. It's okay to celebrate your accomplishments. Yeah. And the other thing that I would say is to talk to somebody. If you're in a funk and you can't get out of it, reach out to a friend, talk to somebody about it. And don't do it in a pity party format. Don't do it in a way that you just want somebody to co-sign your negative feelings.
Right.
Do it when you're ready to shift out of it and you're ready to allow somebody else to help you. And so sometimes just vocalizing it and saying it out loud can lift that weight off of you, and you maybe feel like you might realize you don't even feel it that deeply, but because you were internalizing it and going down in that spiral that it felt like a boulder on your back when really it was just a pebble on your shoulder.
Yeah. Oh.
Came out of nowhere.
Flick that pebble off. All right. I got some more. Tone, sing, dance, play music.
Yeah, I like to just make noises, vocalize, about my noise making.
No, we have one. Should we share the one that we do?
That's something I like to do when I have a little bit too much energy in my body. I feel like I'm getting a little overwhelmed. I just
Like
let
discharges
lets them out.
Yeah.
And also just like breaking down and dance when I'm walking around the house, because it just, I mean, I'm right in the moment then. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just enjoying the essence and the silliness of being me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should break into a dance. Yeah. The music's in my head.
I save my dance moves for
The
private.
music's in my head.
Those are my secret moments.
I think you should share them.
I know a lot of people have seen me dance. I used to be a dancer before I was a hairdresser.
She was like everything before.
It's hard to believe I've done
she
so
was
many
everything
things.
else.
I've only had a couple of jobs, really. But anyways, I love singing. Singing is an amazing way to clear this all out, and the vibration of it just gives you a great feeling, and you can sing the emotions that you're feeling, let out the song in your heart, and just feel good.
Can we sing Medicine Woman for them?
I'm not warmed up for it. I'm not warmed up right now.
All right. I'm always ready to sing. I don't remember the words, but I'm ready to sing it.
Medicine woman, medicine man, walking with grace. I know your face, and I trust your hand. That's a little bit of medicine woman. That feels good, right?
Yeah.
Also feels good to harmonize with your friends.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit today about what you can do to feel better right now without anybody else's permission but your own, and how you can empower yourself and start living the life that you want, because our thoughts really are dictating our reality. And I learned this great little line from Dr. Phil that a victim mentality creates a victim reality. And so I don't want a victim reality. I don't want to be a victim. I want to be a victor. I want to experience this world for everything that it has to offer without limiting myself by my own beliefs.
It's time to thrive.
Absolutely.
It's time. Look, us light workers have been through the ringer.
Yeah.
Light workers, shadow workers, whatever you want to call yourself. Let's not get hung up in the name. We've been through the ringer. We've been tried and tested and true. Let's thrive. Let's do this thing. Let's change this whole thing on this planet.
We're not here to survive. We're here to thrive.
Yeah.
So let's do
Doesn't matter who the president is. Doesn't matter what's happening in the political arena. You can change your life right now.
Absolutely. Aho.
Uh-huh.
Bye, guys.
See ya.